Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea. Welcome to Loewenwood Forest Homeschool. This is where I homeschool my 5 kids in the forests of Northern Ontario, Canada. So today I want to share with you the curriculum we're doing for my oldest, who is grade 5. Let me back up a bit and just explain his situation to you before I get into all the lovely books that I've picked out. First off, we did have him start in public school. We were, traditional parents wanting him to do the public school route. My husband and I both did public school. We thought this is the way to go. And from day one kindergarten, he asked to be homeschooled. Now, at the time, I wasn't against it. I had friends who homeschooled, but I guess there just wasn't anything that was pushing us to homeschool. We saw more the positives of public schooling, and so we just decided to go the public school route. Then he reached grade 2 and he was really struggling. And I don't just mean making friends. He actually did really well making friends. His struggle was anxiety. There's a lot of rules in public school. He had a lot of anxiety following those rules, and he would witness bullying. He would witness other kids being bullied, not himself directly, and that would give him anxiety as well. So with that anxiety came headaches and stomach aches, and his grades started to fall. And I did meet with the teachers, and after meeting with them and his grades kept falling, I thought, you know what, we just need to pull him out. We need to do something different. So I started homeschooling. And so if you are a first-time homeschooler, don't be intimidated by this. In fact, what I recommend if you are a first-time homeschooler and you're diving into this, if you're a first-time homeschooler and you're diving into this crazy world of so many books, so much curriculum, it is actually quite overwhelming. I recommend just grabbing this, the Canadian curriculum. It only costs, says on my book here, $19.95. I think it's a little bit less from Amazon.com. Just go on there, order this book, and just start with that because it's the basics. It follows the Canadian curriculum. Just start with that and go from there and just build upon it. As you and your child grow, you can grow as well into wonderful other books and other curriculum that suits you and your family. So with that being said, this is our base book. I still go to this all the time. My son, because of the anxiety, he did fall behind in classes. So you may notice a couple of these are a little bit grade below, just because he's a little behind, particularly in reading. So we start with this though, because this is where our English is. And I absolutely love the English that's in here because there's a reading portion, there's a question and answer portion, sort of a reading comprehension, and then there's learning English through writings, learning adverbs and verbs and sentence structure and punctuation and all that wonderful stuff that comes with English. So this is our primary English book. Along with it, I have the accompanying teaching writing, and so this is from Scholastic, though I did purchase it through Amazon, and it says it's $17.99 US, so I think I paid like 18 Canadian for it. And this is from grades, it says right here 4 to 8, and so you don't go through the whole book all at once, and in fact a lot of it is copy pages, so you can go through and decide what works best for your kiddo. So we started obviously at the beginning on how to get ideas to create paragraphs. And so, yeah, this is a wonderful book that I use to accompany our English, just to help him learn to write and learn to write paragraphs. We need to work on handwriting. So this is from Share, which is a Canadian company, Canadian homeschooling educational resource. I'll link all of these books down below, I promise. So this is just handwriting for his grade level. They just have them in an alphabet order, so like you'd start with level A, then B, then C, then D. So whatever speed your child wants to go to, there's no like grade 5 or anything like that, so your child never feels like they've fallen behind. So I actually have my grade 3 and my grade 5 both doing this handwriting. So I do have this wonderful vintage book that was printed in 1958, 59 and 60, and again it's just language, and I do find that some textbooks like geography and science, they're always changing those fields, and so you can't really use older books, but language is language. We still spell the words the same way, we still create sentences the same way, and so this is just a really fun book that I liked, that I got from the secondhand store, and I just really loved the activities. So each unit would start with a story, and then you would answer questions, and then there's even group discussion. and here's how to write a report, what you've just learned in the story. And so I just really, really love this. And so we'll just kind of pick through this, work through this. My main focus is going to be on the Canadian curriculum, and we'll just kind of pick and choose, cherry pick what we want from the other books just to round out our English. Okay, so after English, mainly English writing, we have English reading. And so I have a specific time when they will read, and my son will be reading through the Magic Treehouse books. We have been reading them together, him and I, at bedtime, and I'm going to start assigning them for him to read on his own. So we'll just read through these. These are from Scholastic. They're a little more than $1 a book, which is excellent because they're 10 chapters, and they're just an enjoyable read. You learn a little bit about history, and Jackson, my son, loves the characters, which is a boy and a girl, Jack and Annie. He loves them. So definitely recommend that series. On to French. So this year my son gets his own French-English dictionary. So by grade 5, kids should really have a handle on dictionaries, how to use one, how to look up words themselves. It's just promoting that independence, that sense of learning, asking questions and finding the answer on your own. So he's going to have his own dictionary. And then this is going to be the French book we work through. This is by Les Éditions CEC. This is Les Trésors de la Grammaire. So I decided last year I had gotten a French book that I did not particularly like, and it's because it didn't focus on grammar as much as I wanted, I realized. So I got one that's specifically grammar, and that is what this workbook is. A lot of the grammar. And so he'll be getting his grammar through this book. His French reading, however, I have this book called Je lis, and this is actually for 4e année, so for 4th grade. But like I said, his reading is a little bit behind, so we're going to be doing 4th grade reading in French. And so I have this for us to work through because it's you read one side and then you answer questions about what you've read. It's read and then answer the questions so that you understand what you're reading. So that's what we'll work through together. And I also have L'heure de la lecture, which is reading hour. So it's just a whole bunch of stories that are collected. And so basically I'll just have him read through this. He'll have a set amount of time and he'll read as far as he can. And along with that, I also have a French encyclopedia. So basically what I've been doing with them is I just read one page from the encyclopedia each day. So each page has a different subject, and the whole point of it is to learn a little bit about history, about the world, and be exposed to more vocabulary that I may not use on a regular day. And I do like to test the kids each week with some spelling words, and usually I add that into their handwriting portion. So I'll just have them write down the words that I choose, and they'll be able to practice on these chalkboards that I purchased from Michael's. So I'll get them to write out their French verbs and write out their words that they need to learn for the week. Just have them practice on the chalkboards that we can erase and they can do every single day. So that'll be part of our morning as well. Now, math. Math, I go back to my Canadian curriculum. I just love the way they have it laid out. And so this will be our primary source for math. But I do have a second. That's a loud truck. That's a logging truck. I do have a second book, which is Math Smart. This is also from Amazon. And what I'll do is I will just mirror what's happening in this book with some extra pages from this book. I'll just copy them out, and Jackson will just do that along with his regular math. And I try to do 2 pages of math a day. So basically I would open it up. So I'd open it up and he'd do this page and this page. And I love how the units flow. So I'd find we just go from subject to subject and it just builds upon each other. I really like the way it's organized in here. All right, we've got English out of the way, we've got reading out of the way, we've got French out of the way, we've got math out of the way. We just need some science. And if you've seen my last 2 videos, ooh, this is the science we're doing. I'm so excited about this. 5th grade science. We also got the science kit that goes along with it. So all of the experiments, we have all the supplies that we need. And this is what the books look like. That's the back anyway. This is what the books look like. So we have the teacher guide, which is for me. And then these are all of the student books. So what I'll be doing is I'll be photocopying the pages for my other children, just so they can write along with us, because inside there are some pages with learning, and then there are pages where they fill out all the information. And then in here they also have outlined the experiments. Alright, with all the core subjects covered, we now move on to art, which is one of my favorite subjects. I loved it in school. We're still doing Great Artists, which is an amazing book. I've spoken about it often. This year we're also adding Teach Art to Children. And so it's got a lot of new activities and a lot of the basics of art that I find Great Artists, although it's an amazing book, doesn't cover. And yeah, so we'll be doing a lot of basics, some art fundamentals, and just really looking forward to a new book. Along with the art is, of course, outside. We want to be outside in our forest as much as possible. My current schedule, which I'll link up above, has us at about 5.5 hours a day possible to be outside. I don't know that we'll max out every single day, especially days where it's extremely cold, like it gets where we live. But I also have several books that are for outdoor activities. So these are the ones I purchased. A Year of Forest School, which is mostly activities that you do outside, which I'm really excited about. Now, it's not, I find the title's a little misleading because it's not an entire year. It's not 365 days of activities. It's just different seasons. So fall, summer, winter, spring, and there are different activities listed in each. But there's only about 10 activities listed per season. So if you're only doing like 2 a week, then it's lots. But if you're wanting them for every single day, you're gonna need a little bit more to supplement that. This one I enjoy. It's got a lot of crafting stuff. So that one is more activities. This one is more sitting down and crafting. You will need some supplies in order to complete the activities that they have outlined in here. These aren't seasonal, it's not arranged the same way as that other book is, but still some amazing crafts that you can go through and pull out and decide that you want to do with your kiddos. Along with this curriculum, something I don't quite have yet, but it's on order, is sex education. And it's something I haven't seen spoken about by other moms or other homeschool moms that I know in person, let alone videos. But it is something that is important to teach your kids, for sure. And my son is in grade 5, and so he's got lots of questions, and so we've been answering them to the best of our ability in terms of a scientific perspective. But we know there's a lot more questions coming, and so I got some curriculum or some books to help me with that through Focus on the Family, and I'm very excited for those to come in and check them out and see what they have to say. And we may need to edit it still, just from our family perspective on things, make sure it jives with what we believe, but that's definitely something that you should look into if you're a little person going through puberty and asking a bunch of questions. I highly recommend you search out a curriculum to help you with that. So that pretty much wraps up all of the curriculum that we're going to be using this year. I also got this for my son, which is super cute. This is just from Walmart. He likes to eat pencils. I'm hoping it'll just help keep everything tidy and so they don't lose their pencil, which seems to happen all the time. Got him a little pencil case. And I got this book last year, also from Walmart, and I really enjoy it because of the many pockets that allows me to divide, if I photocopy any of the subjects, I can divide them into the different sections of the binder, and then he can just pull from it when I say, let's do that subject. I just find it organizes everything extremely well. So what curriculum are you using? Are you using any of the same books? Are you using different books? Which curriculum is your favorite? Which one would you never do without? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Well, that's it for me, friends. I'll see you next time in the forest. Bye!